So I have officially cut off the firefighter. He's no longer on my roster. I texted him just now that I'm just not feeling this dynamic. And I know I talked about it already, that he was just overly sexual. It was just too much. And I was like, all right, we're just going to keep feeling it out, because everyone was like, oh, it was your fault. Like, you started that. Whatever. Even if it was me, maybe it was. It's very surface level. It's very sexual. He doesn't ask me questions like much about myself or my kids or my husband or anything like that. It's always just like, oh, you're so hot. You're so sexy. When we FaceTime, we'll have like a little bit of like catching up, like, how was your day? Blah, blah, blah. And it always comes back to like, oh, you're so hot. Show me your boobies. Oh, you're so hot. Show me your ass. And it's like, are we 12? Like, I get it. I appreciate you appreciating me, what I work hard for. But at some point, there's gotta be like, you gotta like ask some questions. Like, you gotta intrigue me, because I'm like, ew. It's kind of like an ew, you know? It's an ick. So yeah, that's the update on the firefighter. He's kind of cut off. He's cut off. So that leaves a spot. No, for nobody on here. I'm filling a spot soon, maybe. We'll see. Hopefully. I don't know. But yeah, dating. It's really fun.
I genuinely don't see myself ever having like a serious relationship, because how I feel when I'm single is just so peaceful. And whenever I'm single, like, I've never really felt that longing of like wanting a boyfriend. I've never been in a phase where I want a boyfriend. I'm always single, and then I meet a guy, and then I like him, and then we end up together. So I don't know if at some point you mature and you're like, I want a boyfriend now. Because dating to me has never been like that. It's always like, I'm not really dating. I'm not seeing anybody. Oh, I meet somebody on accident through somebody, and then we like each other for a moment. But does anybody in a relationship have like the same peace that they have while they're single? Or do you just want to be in a relationship so you sacrifice some of your peace? Because even a good relationship obviously requires sacrifices, and it has arguments. And I just don't really see myself wanting to sacrifice doing whatever I want and my peace and my sanity just to have somebody. Because as a woman, it's very easy to have somebody. Like, you can go get somebody when you want them. I have a client, she's so funny. She's like, she'll talk to somebody and she's like, yeah, he's like good, but he's good for like the summertime. He's good, but he's good for the winter time. She's such a queen. I love her. So I started saying that. I'm like, he'd be good, like he'd be okay, but like for the winter time. But I'm just curious, like, everybody I know in relationships, it's not, of course there's no perfect relationship. So, you know, it's like, yeah, you gain love, I guess. But I have so much other love in my life. Like, I have my baby, I have my family, I have friends. I have like my love for my jobs, my plant medicine, travel, life. And I just don't really like, I don't know when I would want to sacrifice any of my peace or any of those things just to like talk to a guy. Am I crazy? And I've dated, I mean, I haven't dated that many people. I've had basically like 2 boyfriends, like my son's dad and this other guy, but we were long distance. And nothing has ever been longer than a year. I don't know, like whenever things go not wrong, well, sometimes wrong, but whenever things get bad, I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. I liked my life before you. Like, we're either good or we're not gonna be anything. And I know that that's not really how relationships work, so I don't think I want one. And I know maybe I'm asking for too much, but like, I can give myself everything. My family is awesome. My life is awesome. Why add a man in there who's just gonna fight, stress me out, make me worry, make me insecure, possibly? And I know people will say, like, no, there's somebody perfect out there for you. Totally. I'm sure there is. And that's the thing. They're going to have to be really perfect. Because I want everything. And it's, like, not an issue because I give myself everything. So they just cannot add any stress, anything like that. And yeah, I do think that they're out there. But I don't know. I'm just, like, not really looking for them. I'm not really concerned about it. Because I don't know. Let me know if anybody else has been in a really good spot in their life, doing everything that they want, having everything that they want, happy on their own, and then a guy comes in and they somehow make it better. Saying that out loud, like, I know that happens plenty, but I think I'm, like, niche because I'm a single mom that likes to travel, likes to explore, wants to move out of the country. And sure, there's guys that want to do that, but they never do. That's the thing. I feel like I'm the doer. And all my relationships, I've always felt like I'm the one that's actually going to do it. And that's why I've left a lot of relationships, because they don't end up doing it. We'll have the same dreams, but that's it. That's just a dream for them. It's not their reality, and it's my reality.
Okay, if you're dating a single mom and you want to score brownie points, take pictures of her with her kids, because we don't have a lot of pictures with our kids. And the only pictures that we do have are typically selfies. And while, yes, those are great, we don't have any candid pictures of us being moms. And so, oh my goodness. So if you want to score brownie points, just take pictures of her. Do it unprompted. Don't even let it be known. But if you are around her, hi, and you think, wow, she is such a great mom. Wow, she's so beautiful. This is such a funny moment. This is so cute. Whatever. Take pictures. Just do it. She will love it and greatly appreciate it. So,
Okay, I need to know from the single moms who are no longer single moms and are engaged or married or one of those things. When did you reveal that you had a child or children? Because I've been single a year and a half. I have not gone on a date since ending my relationship. I have one child, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start dating at some point, but I don't know if that's something like you just start with. I feel like that's a lot to start with. I don't want to be like deceiving or anything, but also like that's a really big part of your life, and you don't necessarily need to just share that information with somebody who's not worth sharing that information with, right? Like you don't just, I don't know how to do this. So I need those of you who have done this, who found your person, to tell me, like, when did you reveal to your person that you had a child? Let me know. I need some advice from the ladies.
One time a man told me that he was going to treat me so well that I would never accept anything less from anybody else, and that I would never forget him, that I would think about him every single day for the rest of my life. How fucked up is that? He was easily the best dater that I've ever gone on dates with. Every single one of our dates involved live music, because I told him once how much I love live music. So the very first date we went to this little Italian place. It was so cute, so good. And he had bought tickets for a concert that night for someone I'd never seen, but he wanted to make sure I had live music. Every time I showed up at this man's house, he had a record player playing, and it was like old bluesy, folky, like red dirt country music, and we'd be dancing in his living room to this record player. And in the mornings when I would wake up, he would ask me if I want coffee and go get coffee for me and bring it back to me in bed. And we went to like this fall fun fest kind of thing, and again, live music, and he was just dancing. Like we were just dancing like nobody else was there. And that same night we leave the fall fun fest and we drive, like he takes a detour home, and he stops by this lake, this little cove in a lake, and he says, Cassia, go down to the shore, take off your shoes. Do that. He opens all the doors of his truck, starts blasting music and comes and joins me, and we just dance in the moonlight for like 30 freaking minutes. Who does these kinds of things?
Why does dating as a single mom feel like so ridiculous and silly? Like, I have such a hard time not feeling like an idiot, because it's like, okay, yeah, like I want to be in love or whatever. I want to be with someone, but then it's like, I have a kid to be raising. So what am I doing on this date? What am I doing talking to this person? And if it doesn't feel like that, it feels like a humiliation ritual.
Let's talk about something. If you as a man don't have kids, what is the reason to date a single mom? What is the logical reasoning? What is the thought process? What is the reason that you would risk so much to date a single mom? The number one advice that I hear women telling other women is not to date broke men, right? But the equivalent of a woman dating a broke man is dating a single mom, but in my opinion, it's worse, because dating a single mom, it comes with more to lose. You could date a man that has great potential, he has a great head on his shoulder, he has great values, he has great morals, and he has goals, and he's ambitious, but he's just in the process where he's working to build that for himself. Everyone starts off somewhere, but women will still refuse to date broke men, right, as they say, because they want the success of it at the end, because they want to be there in the good times, not the hard times with that man. So I don't understand why a man would purposely put himself in a hard time by dating a single mom. You have so much more to lose. It's funny because women will sit up here and say that men who don't have money shouldn't be dating. They shouldn't even be looking for girlfriends, because if they don't have money to date, then they don't deserve love, essentially, right? That's what women say on these apps. I hear it all the time. That if you're a broke man, you shouldn't even be dating. You don't deserve a girlfriend, essentially. But I never hear women tell other women that if you're a single mom, you shouldn't be dating. No, it's the opposite. Women think that single moms deserve the world, and women think that single moms deserve rich men and all of these things. And it's like, so you're sitting here saying that men that are broke don't deserve love, but single moms deserve the world, even though most single moms made bad choices, and that's why they are single moms. Most single moms don't have good heads on their shoulders, and that's why they're single moms. If women want to advocate for other women and say that women should respect themselves by not dating men that don't have money, okay, well, men should respect themselves by not dating single moms, because that is far more baggage and far worse than dating a guy that doesn't necessarily have the funds right now. If a man dates a single mom, he is taking on a role of a father. And in some countries, if a man moves in with the woman, she has kids, he can be held liable to pay child support for kids that are not even his. So men have so much more to lose when they're dating single moms. As women, we expect men to just give us everything and save some women from the horrible decisions that they've made, and that's just not how life works. Society advocates that single moms have more value than a man that is just working towards his goal, essentially. If you're a man and you're dating a single mom because that's all you feel like you can get, then you know what? You need to work harder at becoming a better you, because at the end of the day, if you're dating a single mom, you are risking more long term. And if she feels like you're beneath her, if you feel like that's the reason that you guys are dating, because you feel like you can't get better, then guess what? You're just going to be her simp. You're not going to be happy either way. You're going to live a miserable life. So as a man, do better. If you're a man and you don't have kids yourself, why would you date a single mom? It makes zero sense.
When I was a single mom, raising my son, I did date single dads, and it made my life really, really challenging. I also had a boyfriend who was not a single dad, and he was the best co-parent I had in my son's entire life. Out of all the men, including his real dad. And I had 3 serious boyfriends while I was raising my son. And really only 2 when he was still young and kind of being raised. And the single dad, who seemed like such a great dad to his own kids, was actually really terrible to my son. And there was divorce drama and ex-wife drama and such insane amounts of drama and weird unkindnesses. And of course, that's not the only story. I know lots of people date dads and it works. But I remember feeling like, oh, I should date a dad because I'm a mom and we understand parenting. And nope, let me tell you, it's not true. It's actually even worse because you're not going to be the same type of parent. And living with someone or being super close to someone who parents in a way that you don't agree with is really challenging. Watching them be kind of shitty to your kids sometimes is insane, like obviously intolerable, and then you have to get out of it. So I just think so many dads, especially with young kids, are in a lot of pain. They're struggling from divorces, they miss their ex-wives, and they don't really know what they're doing, so they lean on you too much. They're not that into your kid. They're not capable yet of like raising someone else's kid as well because they're kind of struggling raising their own kids. So don't do it. I really don't think you should do it.
And the dude said, you do not have to worry about a man not dating you if you have kids. Because a man will date you even if you have a husband. Ain't that the truth?
I might have a date this weekend, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Why are you looking like that?
Have you met him yet?
I have not met him, no.
Cute or ugly? What's his name? One of your younger siblings.
Wow, you guys escalated really quickly.
How do you feel
How do
about
I
going
feel?
to
Let's talk about dating tips for a single mom with a young baby. A little bit of context, I was single and pregnant. I was single from early on in my pregnancy, throughout my pregnancy, and then afterwards with a newborn. I was a solo parent and I was single and dating. Dated for an entire year from when my son was 4 months old until he was 16 months old when I met my now boyfriend. So over a year, I was dating with a young child. So here are some tips that I learned along the way. Number one, release the mom guilt. Do not let people make you feel bad about investing time in your dating life. Even if you are a married couple and you have a newborn baby or you have a young child under the age of 1, these people have date nights, right? Even if you were married and you had a partner and you had a child with them, you would spend time away from your baby. You'd have a date night out. You'd have a girls' night. You'd go see your family and you'd leave your child with your significant other, with a sitter, with a family member. So for people to come at single moms and say like, oh, you're not prioritizing your kid. Oh, she's not with her baby. She's choosing to go on a date with a guy rather than spend time with her kid is just absolutely crazy. And it's such a double standard because married women do the same thing. They leave their children to have quality time with a partner. It makes no difference if it is your husband, your boyfriend, or a man who you're on a second date with. Tip number 2 is date intentionally. Like, you need to be so intentional. You do not have a lot of free time to give to your dating life. So when you do take time to go on dates, when you do take time to spend time talking to this person and investing in them, make sure that it is so intentional. I was so serious, like from the first date, from the jump, from the first phone call, being like, what do you want? Do you want a family? Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? Are you dating for a serious relationship? Because I am. And if you're not, maybe it's not a good fit. Like, it's really good to just rip the Band-Aid off. Tip number 3, and this one's more of a safety tip. Definitely, if you're on the dating apps, dating online, never put on your profile that you are a mother. There are some sick people in the world who will purposely date single moms, purposely target them because they think that they're an easy target or they have ill intentions. I never told people that I was a single mom until I felt comfortable, met them on the first date, met them in person, knew that they were someone I wanted to pursue, because even if you go on a first date and you don't think there's a connection, there's no use in telling them about your personal life, your family life, things like that. So I would go on a first date if they were a good fit and I wanted to get to know them a little bit better. That's when I would have that conversation of, hey, by the way, I'm a mom. I didn't feel comfortable for safety reasons telling you this before, but if it's not something you're comfortable with, that's fine. I totally understand not everybody is open to dating somebody with a child or a young child, but if it's not a deal breaker, I would love to continue to get to know you. So definitely a good way to go about it.
Oh, you don't have goals for the future? Bye. Oh, you don't know if you want kids? Bye. You smoke weed every day to manage anxiety? Bye. You don't make 6 figures? Bye. Oh, you're just looking for a good time? My toy does better. Bye. Oh, you don't have a job that can let you travel? Bye. Oh, your ex called you a narcissist? Bye. Oh, you got cheated on twice by 2 different girls? Wonder why? Bye. It's so cold in the D. How the hell we supposed to keep peace? The fuck? What the fuckery? I'm gonna be single forever.
As a single mother, I'm going to tell you something that you do not want to hear about dating. And it's really harsh, but it is a reality. When you are a single mother, even if you share custody, but like specifically if you're a single mother, like 100% full-time parent, it is going to be so easy for the men that you date to cheat on you. And the simple reasoning is this: you don't have time, okay? So you're constantly preoccupied. So you're not worried about what's going on in their phone. You're not worried about where they are all day. You're not tracking their location because you got other shit to do. You have a literal human life that depends on you. And if you're a present parent like me, you have school functions, you have their extracurricular activities, everything else going on. So you're not like in their business. Bad men, manipulative men, narcissistic men will see this as their perfect opportunity to pounce and have more women. Now, do other types of men do this? Absolutely. But all I'm saying is it's much easier when you're a single mom dating for the men to have the opportunity to have multiple women on the side. Facts. And I'll tell you this from my experience because I don't have time to be going through that man's phone. I don't have time to be wondering where you're at. I don't have time to like keep your schedule on hand. I have a child. I have her schedule in mind. I have drop-offs. I have my own work to do. I have all my own stuff going on. And while I see that as a positive, men will see that as an opportunity. I'm not saying this is a bad thing because technically, like, I want to be busy. I want to be doing all of these things for myself and providing for my daughter and doing the most, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's just the way that I am. But it is a big loophole in the system. A lot of guys actually like to date single moms because they can cheat. It's easier for them. They have their own time. They don't have to constantly be worried about you. You're doing your own thing. You have somebody who relies on you, aka giving them time to do their own thing. While I do agree it is good for both people to have their own time, you shouldn't be living your life parallel, you know what I mean? Like, there has to be an intersect. So if they are not cool with you being a mom or they like never want your kid around, he's gotta go. I love you.
I didn't really realize that when you're a single mom, people just automatically expect you to want to date a man that also has kids. I was talking about it last night with my whole family because I was like, oh, well, maybe next year, like, I'll have a boyfriend, go on a double date with my brother and my sister-in-law. And then I started talking about how I don't want to be with a guy who also has kids. And they were like blown away by the concept because they're like, well, you have kids. And I'm like, I know, I'm not saying that I don't love kids because I absolutely adore kids, but in my soul, I just feel that I will not end up with a man that also has kids. If that changes and I fall in love with a man that happens to have kids, okay, never say never. I would prefer to date a man who absolutely loves kids but doesn't have kids of his own. I've seen plenty of other single moms who end up marrying men who do not have kids of their own. I also see a ton of women who end up marrying a man who also has kids and then they have a blended family. Like, it's just personal preference, but I'm just shocked that people are shocked when I say that because I'm like, why do I have to date a man who has kids just because I have kids?
I know you guys are waiting on an update about my date last week, and first and foremost, I'd like to say you guys have no chill. You guys are cracking me up in the comments and it's really sweet and really cute, but also there's a lot of dating stuff that I've shared and there's also a lot of dating stuff that I haven't shared. I feel like I've shared a lot of like the bad dates because I don't really care about those people, and I share them like weeks later. But for things that are like ongoing, I believe in the evil eye. I wear this all the time. This is actually like my third evil eye necklace because they say if it breaks, it means it's done its job. So this is my third in like the last 2 years. Being online, obviously you have a lot of eyes on you. I will say the date went really well. And this person has actually been my friend since the beginning of TikTok. We know pretty much everything about each other, the good, the bad, the ugly, just all the things. So it's a new territory, testing the waters type thing. Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say for now, and I hope you guys have the best day.
Hot takes incoming. Let's see how fired up I can get y'all today. I was asked by a man for advice on how to pursue a single mom, and my response that I shared got me labeled sexist. So I'm gonna share them with you. I want to get your take and then we'll dissect it. First pointer I gave was to be consistent in getting to know her as an individual before any talk of or introduction to kids comes into play. This is probably a very refreshing break for her. And even though motherhood is likely the biggest part of her life, it's important to get to know her on an individual level outside of just that. Number two, let her lead when it comes to anything having to do with her children, even conversation. She will bring it up when she's ready. For me personally, early interest in my child is definitely a red flag. I'm very protective of my motherhood, statistically speaking. Single moms absolutely have reason to be concerned about potentially predatory behavior when it comes to their children. Number three, avoid adding to her already probably high emotional and mental load by being clear and direct about how you feel and what your intentions are. If you don't know if you are prepared to be in a relationship with somebody with children, that is 100% understandable, but don't string her along while you're trying to figure that out for yourself. Number five, be respectful of her co-parenting dynamic, whatever it is. Don't add unnecessary tension to that dynamic. Just be steady and supportive. This last one got me in trouble, and it has everything to do with the fact that when you are a mom, patience and attention to detail are so hot. So here it is. When you take her on a date, offer to pay for a babysitter. This is no different from calling an Uber to pick her up. Is this him stepping into role of childcare provider? Absolutely not. This doesn't mean finding the babysitter or having anything to do with the conversation or planning around securing care for the child that you do not know yet. It's literally just offering to cover the fee. Now here's the thing. Would I ever ask a man to pay for childcare? No. Would I ever be dating if I couldn't secure childcare on my own? No. Would I appreciate this gesture? Absolutely. Here's why. It has nothing to do with him somehow caring for my child. It has everything to do with him noticing the nature of my life and the fact that my time is naturally stretched probably more thin than his is if he's not a parent. It has to do with his awareness of that and then wanting to ease my load, make it so that spending time with him feels lighter for me, not heavier. I view it as a really strong opportunity for a man to upfront show his attentiveness, his intention, and also his ability to problem solve and to take initiative. It just shows that he cares and that he's capable. The person who called me sexist for giving these responses said, could you imagine a single dad wanting these things from a woman? No, I cannot. Here's the thing. I'm a single mom. I'm not a single dad. I would not expect a single father to be looking for the same things in a woman as I, as a single mom, would be looking for in a man. Motherhood and fatherhood are two different ballparks. They're both equally important, but they are very different. I will die on that hill. If I'm a single mom dating, I'm not looking for a stepdaddy for my kid. I'm looking for a teammate and a partner in life. And personally, I'm attracted to someone with a character that wants to be a provider. I don't need someone to provide anything in my life. I am attracted to somebody who wants to.